And welcome back. 8 years ago, while campaigning for governor, then candidate Larry Hogan talked about the awful scourge of opioid addiction. Mark, there were 1,900 opioid and fentanyl-related deaths in this past year, an increase of 2% from 2020. What is causing this endless cycle of addiction that's all around us, and we know it, and we acknowledge is all around us? How do we do? What's happening here?
And let me to acknowledge too that so many families and communities of friends have been touched by this. It really is a wrenching. It is an epidemic. And one of the lessons I think one of the things we're going to learn about COVID as the data comes out is that the isolation and challenges of COVID really exacerbated sort of diseases of desperation as a result of isolation. And I suspect that this public health data, as we kind of tease it out over the next couple of years, will reflect that was a significant, not COVID deaths, but a contributor to kind of this public health catastrophe that we've experienced for the last 2 years.
Yeah, so Nancy, this is a tough question. I mean, more people are dying from drug overdoses than were victims of homicides the past 2 years. And as Mark suggests, is there an answer to this?
I think it's a statement of people who are hopeless, who have no hope, people who are isolated. I agree completely with what Mark has said, and the extent of stress in the community. It's also related to poverty, of lack of options, and the choice to go down the wrong path. I mean, a choice has been made at some point, and the opportunity to return from that is pretty limited. I think it's terrible. I think people have been tearing their hair out about this for a good long time, and I'm not sure we're any closer to finding a solution.
Well, this raises, always the difference between enforcement and treatment, but also, I mean, there is the fentanyl, the introduction of fentanyl and easily available fentanyl into the mix that is so troubling. And part of that is suggested is it's coming through our southern border and our lack of enforcement there.
And actually taking that one step further, it's much of it is also coming from China through the southern border, as you said. And one of the challenges is that the flood of fentanyl has driven the cost down dramatically, and that, how shall I say, has removed what might have been a barrier for many people to become addicted.
I saw a demonstration where a former DEA agent took a sugar packet and poured it in his hand and said, "This is enough fentanyl to kill 500 people." I mean, when you get that kind of dangerous drug on the market, it's frightening.
Well, and someone's getting rich off this.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to control that.
Yeah, it's important to kind of acknowledge the treatment options that do exist, and there are therapies that can help in addition to, going through some kind of rehab that can provide some maintenance. And where jurisdictions have had success, it's usually involved with encouraging folks to be able to participate in that and forward.
Well, Mark, I'm going to have to let you have the last word on this.